Hola amigos, soy Jane y esto es Fincarte. Welcome to Fincarte. A few weeks ago I asked a question. I asked myself mostly about whether I could build a wall. How did that go, Jane? You may or may not hear the noise of the Magimix, the concrete mixer, in the background. It is working, and Steve is building the wall, and I'm doing something else. Okay, let's be absolutely brutally honest here. I failed at building the wall. If I had been totally on my own, with no possibility of help, the wall would have been very different from how it's going to be. Not as good, because basically I would have piled a lot of stones on top of each other, a little bit like a crap dry stone wall. I'm saying crap because I don't have the skills to make a dry stone wall properly, but that is what I would have done. What stopped me from making the wall? The fact that I had to ask for help all the time. Things were too heavy. I didn't know or understand how the concrete mixer worked. Even lifting a shovel full of sand was too much for me. I wouldn't have got it into the concrete mixer. It's just too heavy a job, basically. If you are planning a sustainable lifestyle or doing stuff yourself, and you are on your own and you are not strong, then you might have to think twice or do things differently. I mean, if I had just piled up stones haphazardly, I could have made a kind of wall. I don't know how long it would have lasted. That's the thing. I don't know how long it would have lasted. And that's kind of the bottom line for a self-sustainable lifestyle. You can't do it all yourself. You have to be part of a community. If you haven't got someone to help you, you have to go out into the community and see if you can trade for someone to help you. I don't know, give them vegetables, make friends with people, ask for help. So instead, I am doing a job that has been bugging me for a while, and that was cleaning up this area here, which has turned into a bit of a dumping ground for lots of bits of plastic, actually. About 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, I had a major clean out here, and I got rid of huge amounts of plastic, and I also vowed that I wouldn't be bringing any more plastic onto the finca. That proved to be impossible, because a tree, plastic pot, vegetables, plastic, garden centre, plastic, more plastic. I don't have a greenhouse, So I do a lot of potting on the veranda, and in order to contain the water that comes out the bottoms of the pots, I bought a whole load of plastic trays. Plastic. More plastic. Yeah. I am actually going to clean up all of these, and yes, I can reuse them for planting seedlings, and I do until they fall apart, but I still end up with far too many. Oh, this is no good. Some of them have gone so brittle, they're just breaking. Well, that's not going to happen then, they'll have to just go straight to recycling. I was, for quite a long time, a big fan of several prepper sites on YouTube. For those who don't know what a prepper is, it's someone who believes that the end of the world is nigh and feels that preparations need to be made, hence prepper. And you will find on these prepper sites loads of amazing videos of how to preserve food, how to grow your food, basically how to be self-sufficient. But an awful lot of them, obviously a great deal of them are from the USA, but an awful lot of them give the impression that it's possible to be totally self-sufficient, not have to rely upon anyone else, and live a reasonably good life. And I don't believe that's the case. I think you are always going to need help, and you are always going to need a community. You need to be able to swap what you can grow for stuff that other people grew that you don't have. You need help. You know, I mean, look at the Amish barn raisings. You can't do big heavy jobs on your own. Now, don't get me wrong, when I was younger I'd have been right there with all of these guys. Absolutely. I have always liked the idea of being able to do stuff for myself. I think probably I was a worrier. You know, what if there isn't any food in the shops? You know, times are tough for a lot of people. The pandemic has brought home to an awful lot of people how precarious the supply chain is. Isn't that right, Clyde? But if we couldn't give you any cat food, at least you could go out and get a takeaway, couldn't you? There's plenty of mice around. It's another day. Actually, it's another week. My apologies for the noise behind me. My neighbour is pruning and burning his prunings. It's a busy time of year. The wall is finished. Yeah. The planting is not. Aww. It's the way it goes here. Look at my beautiful wall. Yeah. All hail Steve. He did an amazing job. It's not quite as high as I was going to make it, but when I look at it, it's actually probably high enough. And honestly, I just wanted it done. Now, the hold up at the moment is that we've not been able to get any manure. So I have put down, this was always the plan, I have put down some wool. It's waste wool, it can't be spun or used for anything else. It probably could be used for felting, but it's from a black sheep. I know it looks brown because actually black sheep, when you look closely, are dark brown. Mostly. The wool will degrade very, very slowly, and it is actually full of lots of good stuff that will be beneficial for the plants. It also holds moisture, which means that in theory I should have to water less. The only way that Steve could help me with this was because he finished the windows. Don't they look amazing? I'm so happy. See china plates? Can you spray paint china plates? Hasta luego, mis amigos. See you next time.